Hello again, I am Blunty, and a few days ago I popped up a video about Dauntless, a multi-platform spiritual cousin of Monster Hunter, and its impending arrival on Steam, where once for PC players it was exclusive to the Epic Games Store. Now it's hitting the overwhelmingly more popular storefront and game launcher platform for PC gamers. And man, the people are getting all kinds of weird about it. On the one hand, you've got bizarrely tribal Monster Hunter fans somehow offended, like personally offended, that there's games out there that people like to play that are not Monster Hunter, but are kind of like Monster Hunter. They take that personally for some reason. It's bizarre. On the other hand, there are people who get shockingly furious, just outraged about the very existence of the Epic Game Store itself. Or not even the store, just the login account for it. They get real mad about that for some reason. So we're going to take a peek at some of that stuff today, what people are saying, partially to cynically mock the loud clowns that every gaming community seems destined to suffer under, but mostly as a framing device for some things I want to better detail about Dauntless and to correct some misinformation that's been floating out there quite frequently that I've been seeing, and even the devs are getting a bit fed up with as they continually keep locking down discussions of this stuff. The general vibe is enthusiasm, so that bodes well, but there's concerns too. So let's dig into the notoriously sane and calm and level-headed Steam forums. The Steam forums are a place for intelligent and thoughtful dialogue between gamers. Oh, and one more thing before we actually get to the Steam forums themselves. This is a key bit of information we're going to be hitting here. It requires a third-party account, Epic Games account, which you can link to your Steam account. I'm pretty sure mine's already linked for another game or whatever. But yeah, they're using Epic Games account as the way to achieve a completely seamless cross-play, cross-progression, cross-save, all that kind of stuff. Because, well, Steam doesn't let you do that with Steam accounts. And same is true for the console accounts. So you need a third-party account to be able to do that in a really efficient way. And because the game first launched on Epic, well, that's the system that's already in play and has already been in play for like half a decade now. The Epic Games account is just the glue that holds all that together. You don't need to install the Epic Games launcher. Again, this is a requirement for the console version as well. But yeah, people are getting really, really angry about that. So let's take a look at what people are saying. We'll come back to this. Of course, as always, elephant in the room, Monster Hunter. Who is going to play this over Wild's Rise or World? Like, genuine question. And if you say it's free to play, World and Rise go on sale for $10 same. Yeah, okay. So the point is, why would you play this when there's Monster Hunter? Even though it's free, but the other Monster Hunter games do regularly go on sale for quite cheaply these days. Well, the reason is, why are you angry that there's more good games? Like, if there was only just the one Monster Hunter style game, that's the only choice you would ever have. Dauntless definitely has its own personality, its own approach. It feels different when you play it. It obviously looks different. The systems are different, and they're changing again. So yeah, I mean, it's not like this is just Monster Hunter, but from Wish. It's its own thing, inspired by Monster Hunter, that is definitely worth a go in its own right, and I will say that to anybody who listens. Why would you play this over Wild's Rise of World? Well, you wouldn't. You'd play it as well as. Like, I'm not going to stop playing Monster Hunter, or I'm not going to, buy Wilds when it comes out just because this exists. So this is just the wrong question. Who's going to play this over Wilds? Well, nobody is. You're going to play this as well as Wilds Rise of World. Like, just because this exists doesn't mean you don't get to play Monster Hunter. Gaming is not a zero-sum game. You don't have to pick a game to play, and you're not allowed to play any other games in that genre ever. That would be stupid. This is as well as Monster Hunter type of game, and that's how I've always played it. How fun! From someone who plays Monster Hunter, this game seemed fun enough to play until Wilds. Yes. In fact, I expect that's what a lot of people are going to be doing, because it's a big new update, and progress is somewhat being reset for existing players. Like, they'll have to play through the new tutorial-type missions again, and because the weapon system and armor system is changing, everyone's sort of being rolled back to a more common footing. So it's going to be very active and concentrated in the player base for a while. And Wilds, it's only a couple of months away. And that's, a couple of months of Dauntless is pretty much all some people are going to want out of it. Some people are going to come back to it after they're done with Wilds and waiting for whatever updates come for that. Again, it's an as well as game, not an instead of game. But yeah, if you do enjoy Monster Hunter, I would definitely recommend at least giving this a go. Again, it's free to play, so it doesn't cost you anything but time. And don't get me wrong, Monster Hunter is the better game, in my opinion. I don't think you find many people who will say Dauntless is the superior game. But that doesn't mean Dauntless isn't worth playing, or that it's bad. It's just not as good as Monster Hunter, because Monster Hunter is extraordinarily good. And this is just pretty damn good. Know what I mean? So let's get to that cross-play stuff. Cross-play question. I'm probably in the minority here, but someone who only really wants to play with friends, and whose friends are all on Steam. I have no actual interest in crossplay. Normally this would be no issue with crossplay being, given the reason for an Epic Games Store account is somewhat different. What? As someone who played the game way back when it was a separate entity, that was in beta days when it had its own launcher. That wasn't actually full release, that was the beta. Once it got full release, it went to Epic Games Store immediately. The only reason it ever needed its own launcher was because of the way the beta worked. It was heartbroken when they made it Epic exclusive. They didn't do that. It's not Epic exclusive. It's on the consoles as well. It's Epic exclusive on PC. Is there any chance we can get a cross-play free version without the account requirements? It's just an account, guy. Just register an account. It's an email and password. Just register the damn account. Who cares? You don't have to install the Epic Games Launcher. You don't have to use it. You don't have to do anything else with Epic. Just make the account, log in, link your Steam account, and set and forget. You never have to worry about it ever again. And why would you want to limit the multiplayer stuff? I mean, yeah, you want to play with your friends. What if your friends are not playing at the time and you want to play, or you're playing when your friends are offline? I mean, why would you deliberately want to limit yourself just so you don't have to make an account, like an email and password with Epic? It's not like Epic is some sort of weird fly-by-night company that you can't trust with an account. Christ's sake, just make the account, you whining little bitch. Misinformation time. Wipe from Mr. Nails. Hello. I've played Dauntless before it reached Epic. Again, you played the beta, not the full release. I played it on Epic. Good for you. I've been through 3 wipes. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. They didn't wipe. If you played the beta, I think there was a wipe when it came to Epic in its full front, but there has been no wipes ever since. I'm still on my original account. I mean, I've still got my player title, Slayer of the Queen, that you only get for playing the beta. There hasn't been 3 wipes. Since it came to the Epic Store, there's been no wipes. There was a wipe after the beta, but no, there haven't been 3 wipes. There's been 0 wipes since the game launched. So the game came to 1.0 on Epic. There's been 0 wipes. Will there be another wipe? No, there won't. If not a force wipe, I'll be able to wipe it manually. Yeah, you can always start manually. Like, there's an option. There's always been an option for that. In fact, one of the things I don't like about how Dauntless is, there's no multiple save files. I would like to be able to keep my existing account active, you know, the one I've spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundred hours in, but also just have another save file, just for, you know, experimental reasons and whatnot. But yeah, you can only have one account, unfortunately. Or I suppose I could just register a separate account and do it, which I might do, actually. This game should have been on Steam day 1. Now it's too late. Is it? Is it too late? Really? Why is it too late? Let's find out. This game only being on Epic Games... Well, it wasn't. It was on the consoles. It's only on Epic Games on PC. Was what killed it. The game's never been dead. Every single time I've popped into it over the years, it's always had active players. It's never been dead. It's never been killed. It's not the biggest game in the world, but that's a bit of an overstatement. This game is fun AF. Sure is. I had a lot of fun playing it some years ago. Me too. But Epic Games Launcher is so trash that it made me give up on the game. Imagine that. Imagine giving up on a game just because you had to use the Epic Games Launcher. The Epic Games Launcher is fine. It's not like it's unstable. It's more basic than Steam. It has fewer features than Steam, sure. But how is that a bad thing if all you're doing is to launch a game you like? That's stupid. That is impossible. I don't get these people. Why do you hate the Epic Games Store so much? You will quit a game that you think is fun AF just because you have to use that particular launcher on PC. Well, you switch to console instead. Play it there. No Epic Game Launcher is all there. Now the game is dead. No, it's not. I've been playing it over the weekend. It's still quite active, actually. Well, I hope it helps, because it's a shame to see a game that's so fun dying. It's not dying. It's getting a whole new update. They just spent an entire year rejiggering the game to relaunch in a massive new update. How is that dead or dying? What are you talking about? Epic Games Store is a cancer for the PC gamer experience. Is it really? It's a cancer. It's an option, guy. So thanks for bringing it to Steam. Hope this managed to make you come back fucking dream. God, talk about overact. Talk about a drama queen. Bloody hell. Now we get to some of the ones that the developers have been locking. And there's a few of these, and they all revolve around the same concept because they don't want people going on and on and on about this stuff, because we all know how we feel about loot boxes. Yeah, the new update is bringing in loot boxes. They're calling them canisters. They can be purchased with platinum, that's the in-game currencies right there, obtained as hunt pass rewards, just like, you know, a lot of games do this. You get a little bit of currency through the hunt pass, yada yada yada, or you pay for it to get the premium stuff. What makes me wonder, though, is they should be aware the regulations and bans are underway. Why on earth would implement a feature on the brink of death? Well, for a start, the regulations and bans, I've got doubts how effective they'll be in any practical way and whatnot, and they'll be very, very specific in many ways to protect certain businesses and all that kind of crap, but who cares about that? Honestly, if they're desperate for money, they should have just turned the game into an offline co-op game with paid content packs. No, thank you. Like, why? How would that make the game better and make it more money? This would have also disarmed the imminent EGS backlash by making crossplay optional instead of mandatory. Just make it into a completely different game. That'll make it. Just why? What are you talking about? Let's scroll down to see what the actual devs have to say. This is Polo, developer. Loot boxes can be a scary subject. They're quite aware of that. We wanted to speak to that right away. Our blog post here covers it, but to re-summarize, we are adding loot boxes and doing it very carefully to ensure we are mindful in how it impacts the player experience. Now, the monetization of Dauntless has always been something I've praised over the years, especially in the early days. It was really friendly for free-to-play players. Seems like it's going to get less friendly for free-to-play these days with the loot boxes and stuff like that, but it remains to be seen how unfriendly it goes. They can't push it too far because one of the reasons people keep playing is because it was friendly. The canisters in Dauntless Awakening are exclusively for cosmetic awards. For now, surely. I've heard that before. Hey, remember when Fallout 76 said they were only doing cosmetic in their storefront for paid stuff? Yeah, that lasted all of what? A couple of months? Ensuring they do not impact core gameplay to maintain transparency, we'll publish odds of every canister. Like, transparency on the odds for the RNG drops from the canisters, that's nice. Doesn't really make it any friendlier, but at least you can see the odds. That's if they're honest about the odds, because there's other games recently with this sort of stuff that have not been honest about the odds. And were in fact caught lying about them, so we'll see. Additionally, each pool guarantees a unique item. Players will never receive duplicates. That's actually quite nice. Not getting duplicates out of these loot box craps is at least slightly more friendly. Pools from canister accessible through the free and elite tracks of the hunt pass, ensuring all players have access to the customization options. For those who want more, additional pools can be purchased using platinum. So pretty standard stuff there. For us, this approach strikes the best balance, providing players with transparent choices and exciting cosmetic options, ensuring Dauntless Awakening continues to evolve and thrive as a free-to-play experience. We understand that not everybody will choose to engage with canisters, and that's okay. Your adventures in the Shelter Dial will remain just as fun, competitive, and rewarding without them. We'll be closely monitoring how players engage with canisters and considering all feedback. So basically, what that means is they'll be closely monitoring how active the whales are with the canisters. Because if the whales don't care about the canisters, then they'll probably go away. This is not for the regular players. They do not care if you buy one or two canisters, sets of canisters a year or something, or if you actively engage them. This is all about the whales. If the whales are not spending as much or more than they were spending on the old system, then that's the problem. That's all that means. And considering all feedback to ensure that a meaningful value to the game. Okay, just cosmetics are not a meaningful value for anything. Just because you sell them for real money does not make them value. They're nice. I like cosmetics. I like the fashion games in these games, but yeah, that's the person who wrote that sentence. That's not someone I would have a beer with. That's marketing goober there. Not downloading Epic. Well, good news. You don't have to. As the title says, I have zero intention of playing game that requires an Epic account. Look, he's almost there. All you need is Epic account. You don't actually need the launcher. I deleted mine after Total War Troy came to Steam, and I have no desire to make a new one. This game has completely squandered the hype. It's squandered the hype just because you have to have a third-party login. Calm down. There's a captive audience because Monster Hunter was a console exclusive. Monster Hunter hasn't been a console exclusive in, 6 or 7 years now? When did World launch? No. But threw it away for the epic briefcase full of cash. Okay, if you say so. Now that we have multiple Monster Hunter games on Steam, as well as clones like God Eater. Really? Calling God Eater a Monster Hunter clone? Ooh, that's going to piss some people off. What's the point of this? The point of it is to have another good game to play that's in the Monster Hunter genre, guy. You don't have to download Epic. Nothing. Let's see what the dev has to say about this. Follow again. Hey folks, we understand some people have very specific feelings about the having certain accounts. We appreciate the interest in the game and respect the decisions you make surrounding that, but we're totally biased and think that Dauntless is worth checking out regardless. Hope some of you reconsider it. So it totally is. They're right. Winner for the Epic account. This is what I talked about at the start of the video, I think. True crossplay, core aspect of the Dauntless experience, being able to play with friends and other players across platforms. The game has been available on PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo for some time now, in addition to being in the Epic Game Store, and now we're really excited to be bringing it to Steam. It's been on our list for a while. Some of the smart folks have already pointed out that crossplay is one of the core reasons to the EGA account need, as others have mentioned. Other games can offer crossplay without EGA. Right now, for our own team, the EGA makes the most amount of sense for cross-platform play and cross-progress and inventory preservation in terms of development resources. Our team is focused more on the Dauntless content and the next area of the game itself. The game has a bright future ahead of it, and we are hyped for what comes next. So basically what they're saying here, they don't want to have to reinvent the wheel. They've been using the Epic Games account for more than half a decade now to have the cross-play, cross-progression, inventory preservation, all that sort of stuff. And it works perfectly. Like, it works really well. In fact, again, Dauntless was one of those games, one of the earliest games I praised for how utterly seamless the cross-progression, cross-save, cross-inventory, all that sort of stuff worked. It really is absolutely seamless because of the EGA account. To get rid of that, they would have to rebuild something from scratch, replace it in all versions of the game, make sure it works, completely test it, run their own server. It's so much extra work that does not need to be done because the existing system works perfectly. And again, just people freaking out just because they have to register an account. You still have to register an account, a different account. If they replace the system with their own, you'd need a Dauntless account or a Phoenix Games account or whatever it winds up, theoretically would have been. You still have to have another account and sync it to your Steam. That's just the way things have to work. Calm down, guys. Another one requires Epic account. At least this guy's right, and he requires the account, not the thing. Hard pass! I'll check it out if it's played without though. I mean, again, what is the point? It's just an account. It's an email and a password. Why is it such a fuss for these people? Christ! Let's scroll down to see if we can find the developer comment. Nope, no developer comment here. They just locked the thread as a redundant redundant thing. I'm sure other people here are either complaining or whining or just explaining to this guy how stupid it is to freak out about just a login. Requires third-party... Another locked account. Requires third-party account to Epic Games account. No thanks. What is even the point of being on Steam if it still requires an eShit account? Oh my god, that's so mature. An eShit account. Again, I don't have to repeat myself, do I? We've already talked about this. The point is, it makes it practical to have the game work. Cross-platform, cross-save, cross-progression, yada, yada, yada. Question about Steam Deck. I'd lost all hope, so happy this can release. Funny it has to be so soon before Wilds. Well, we've got a couple of months. It'll be fine. But Dauntless is a good time. It really is. Hopefully the developers will enable Linux support in EAC, so I can play on Steam Deck. So, fun fact, it already does work on the Steam Deck. And easy anti-cheat, which this game uses as an online, live service game. There's always going to be an anti-cheat. There's no point whining about that anymore. And EAC is lesser of several devils, really. It's not good, but it's better than some other options that we possibly could have had. In any case, there are hoops you can jump through. There's a special launcher on Linux called the Hero launcher, I think, which is basically just the Epic launcher, but sort of a Linux version of it. Not run by Epic themselves, but links into those accounts. So yeah, you can jump through a bunch of hoops to get it working on Steam Deck, and it does run, and the ESC does work and stuff like that. At least it did last time I looked into it. But yeah, more specifically, the developer did chime in here. We're currently exploring Steam Deck compatibility, so getting it officially marked off as seamlessly compatible with Steam Deck. Keep an eye out for more detail over the next few weeks. So, it probably will be Steam Deck approved. Wait, what's the terminology they use? No, Steam Deck compatibility, there is. Yeah, it's currently listed as unknown, of course. But yeah, it should be fine for Linux users. It should be fine, because again, you can jump through some hoops and get the Epic Game Store version to work into Linux and on Steam Deck. And if you're wondering about portable PCs in general, I did test it with my ROG Ally, and it does work really quite nicely. At 900p, you get 60 FPS in the medium graphics mode, but I prefer the higher graphics mode because you get niceties like reflections and stuff. You can see these side by side. The high graphics settings definitely look better, don't they? But you'll be between 45 and 60 FPS if you do that. It floats around a bit, but still very, very playable at those kind of frame rates. So if I'm playing on my portable, that's what I'll be playing at. High settings at 900p. Works really smoothly. Last thing I want to talk about is this. This one skipped under my radar until I saw this particular Steam post. Will the update have Unreal Engine 5, just like in the beta? So the beta of the new update, I'm not talking about the original game beta from, 6.5 years ago. They ran a beta for the update, of course, closed beta. Apparently that was running on Unreal Engine 5, whereas the current version of the game runs on Unreal Engine 4. That's a bit of a concern because pretty much every Unreal Engine 5 game that's been releasing this year has had some issues with stuttering and stuff like that. So I'm slightly concerned that we'll see a little more jitteriness in the game, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, once again, the developers chimed in here. The system requirements, the ones currently listed on Steam, the old system requirements they've been using for a couple of years now for the Unreal Engine 4. They should be about the same for Unreal Engine 5. But if you do run into issues running the game once it releases, please do let us know. So that statement there makes me worry about how much testing they've done. I mean, they ran a closed beta and it seemed fine. I didn't hear too much about, negatively about it, how it was performing or anything. I've seen some footage of it, seems fine. But yeah, Unreal Engine 5, for all the really cool shit it can do, it is a little bit of a concern that they're shifting over to it for this, and whether it's not, it's going to introduce any extra problems for us. So, I don't know. We'll see, I suppose. In any case, that's all I wanted to waffle on about today. Thank you for listening. I am Blunty. We'll catch you next time. Thank you to the patrons scrolling up above there. So, yeah, do pop a follow over on Twitch, because when this new update launches, I will be streaming more of it. Thanks for watching.